Student Member Lee is not present. Member Thomas?
Here.
Member Nguyen is not present. Member Plancarte?
Here.
Vice President Jones?
Here.
And President Hill.
Here.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to meeting practices and information 1.2. Members of the public may observe the meeting via the NUSD YouTube channel, live transmission on Comcast channel 26, or in person at the NUSD boardroom. Spanish translation will be available via Zoom. Okay, and then let's move on to public comment on closed session. Items 1.3, do we have any public comments coming in?
There were none.
Okay, great. So moving on, we're about to recess to closed session. In closed session, we'll be covering item 2.1, conference with legal counsel regarding anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subdivision D2 or 3, 5 cases. And then also 2.2, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code 54957.6, subdivision A, employee organizations, CSCA, and NTA. And with that, we will be recessing to closed session. 1:06 p.m. I'm sorry, we're recessing back from closed session. So 3.1, report of closed session actions. There is nothing to report. If we can now all please stand. 4.1, the Pledge of Allegiance. Please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, meeting policies and practices. Members of the public may observe the meeting via the NUSD YouTube channel, live transmission on Comcast Channel 26, or in person at the NUSD boardroom. Spanish translation will be available via Zoom. And regarding, just as a reminder, the board meeting guidelines that we, the board, have committed to adhere to. Number one, we will keep our focus on the best interest of our students. We will work towards that future, learning from the past. We will stay focused on our goals and avoid getting sidetracked. We will build upon the ideas of others and look for common ground. We will paraphrase for understanding. When we have a difference of opinion, we will debate the facts of the situation and avoid personal criticism. We will address processes, not persons. We will respect differences. We will never dismiss or devalue others. Okay. So moving on to 5.1, approval of the agenda, and I understand for the superintendent that we want to pull 13.14. Is that correct?
That's correct. We'll be
Okay.
bringing that item back at a later date.
Great. So can I get an approval or a motion to approve the agenda except for 13.14?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Member Pancarte moves, Vice President Jones seconds. Ms. Croce, if we can do this through board docs, right?
Student member Lee, how do we vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Five ayes. Votes are in, 5 ayes.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Croce. Moving on to 6.1, student report. Student member Lee.
Thank you. Good evening, Board, Executive, Cabinet, and community. I would like to start off by saying Happy Filipino American History Month. It is a great time to honor the contributions and rich culture of the Filipino American community within our school district. I want to highlight some exciting recent events at New York Memorial High School. On October 11th and 12th, the New York Memorial Theater hosted an engaging haunted house, bringing a bit of spooky fun to our high school community. We're also thrilled to announce that our girls and boys cross-country teams achieved success, securing second place at the 2024 Clovis Invitational. Let's give a big round of applause to our amazing Cougars. A special shout out goes to our own Michael Tellez, senior Michael Tellez, who was nominated for the Mercury News Athlete of the Week. This is a fantastic recognition, and our New York community is so proud of him. In athletics, our football team is currently on a roll. Last week, they celebrated their third consecutive win against Kennedy, showcasing their determination and teamwork. And as we look ahead, Halloween is just around the corner. We're excited to announce that ASB will be hosting a Halloween night market on October 25th. Once again, October 25th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the high school. And we are currently seeking vendors, so if you or anyone you know is interested, please reach out. Additionally, mark your calendars for our winter sports orientation on Wednesday, October 30th in the old gym at 6:30 p.m. It is a great opportunity to learn about our upcoming winter sports program. We have girls and boys soccer, girls and boys basketball, and girls and boys wrestling. Lastly, I just wanted to bring up an issue that our school has been currently having. Our student view is currently experiencing some difficulties preventing our teachers from updating our grades, and wanted to say thank you to the patience from students and staff, as hopefully this issue will be resolved soon. Thank you for your attention, and let's continue to support our students and staff as we move forward together. Go Cougars!
Thank you, Member Lee. Moving on to 7.1, employee organizations. So, Ms. Villa, welcome.
All right, good evening, Board President, board members, and Executive Cabinet. We're going to start off with a positive today in regards to teacher evaluations. All right, an MOU has been created and approved by our executive board and our site reps moving forward for this year. We were starting out with, it wasn't looking like we had a plan in place because, number one, our evaluator calibration system was no longer available to us. And also the number of peer coaches in our district we don't have the numbers to run the E3 program as it should have been. So in order to move forward, having the discussions with our HR, with Assistant Superintendent Mr. Williams, creating a evaluation plan that would benefit our teachers, a fair evaluation system that would benefit our teachers, that it would provide fair and positive feedback, but also a direction on how to become better in the profession. So again, the relationship. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for the discussions and moving forward. That's a positive way to move forward. Okay, now, our MOUs, I would say probably one of the only ways that we are moving forward so far this year. 4 teachers still don't have curriculum. Finding out, and not only the benchmark curriculum, but our coding teacher, our computer science coding teacher at the junior high, or the middle school, no curriculum. Our Spanish teacher at the middle school, Spanish 1 class, no curriculum. You know, it puzzles me that we were able to pass that resolution and the Williams Act when we have these classrooms with no curriculum still. So moving forward, not talking about hurricanes or curriculum coming from back east, we need to come up with a way to move forward with our classes. We're nearing the end of October, and these kids still don't have curriculum in their classrooms. Adding on top of that, we're trying to have professional development on these curriculum areas. How do we do that? We're on step 3, 4, and 5, and we still don't have step 1 and 2 done. Our teachers need that curriculum and able to do this professional development. I give big time props to the teachers who are doing benchmark in elementary. Our 6th grade teachers, they said, we'll figure it out ourselves. They need to move forward. I give big props to those teachers. So, in regards to professional development, asking what our teachers need compared to giving them what we think they need. There's a big difference. We're not going to get the best out of our teachers if we continue to talk at them. We do have some principals who are asking our teachers, what do you need? Those are the principals like Jen Cronin and Vince Gonzalez at the middle school, and the other principals too, but asking our teachers what they need compared to talking at them. We're not going to get the most out of our teachers that way. So here we are in October, and we're still waiting to negotiate. We should have negotiated last year. We need to think about how we are going to keep our teachers here. For once, we are almost fully staffed. We haven't been that way since before COVID. And I'm already worried about how are we going to keep these new teachers here? We need to support them. We need to ask them what they need. How can we help you? But instead, again, we're telling you got to come to 9 meetings about pedagogy and something that they don't know anything about. So my ask is, moving forward from here, that we talk to our teachers and ask them, what do you need to move these kids forward? That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Villa. Do we have a representative from CSEA? No? Okay. Okay. Do we have a representative from NUMA? Okay. Moving on. Let's go to public comment on non-agenda items. And Ms. Croce, I don't think we have any
There are
comments.
none.
Okay.
I did not receive any.
Okay, great. So moving on to public comment on agenda items. I do have a speaker card here, but do we have any that came in through email or some other source, carrier pigeon? No? Okay. Okay, so 13.2 quarterly contracts, Ms. Parks?
Good evening. The agenda item 13.2 is the quarterly contracts, the first quarter for the 24-25 fiscal year. The key word here is contracts. Of the 14 items attached to this agenda item, 4 are not contracts. The 3 VP Firewatch experts are invoices or proposed costs for Firewatch services at Snow Elementary. In fact, one of the services was provided in June. Shouldn't that be a part of the 24 PO number and have been part of the 24 fiscal budget? The Wellness Together is a February 2024 contract with a PO number from 2024, which should have been brought to you in the third quarter of 2024, which those contracts were brought to you in April. Office Information System says it's a $30,915 estimate for the July OIS upgrade. The WML Safeguard Protect and Consult Agreement was dated in April 9th of 2024 and was signed April 19th, 2024, and the warrant was paid in 2024. The Linda Mood Bell learning process were for services to begin on or after June 5th of 2024 through August 31st of 2024. It was signed by Olivia Ringal on June 18th of 2024, yet the PO isn't dated until September 30th of 2024, after the services were provided. I realize the business office has new staff, so I hope training can be provided to address these issues in the future. As far as the items attached to this report, I hope you will table this item until it can be updated with contracts for you to ratify. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parks. And do we want to wait, Superintendent, until we get to that agenda item to discuss any of this?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Okay. So that concludes public comment on agenda items. So moving on to 9.1, Superintendent report. Superintendent.
Thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I wanted to apologize to our teachers for the curriculum that's missing. I will tell you that I am frustrated. I know my team is frustrated with the vendor as well. We will be on a conference call with them tomorrow. We did meet today to discuss the concerns with the lack of curriculum that's missing and why it's missing, and then what was received last week that was not the appropriate curriculum that we were anticipating. So we will definitely be doing some follow-up with that, but I definitely want to reach out to the 4 teachers and personally apologize. So please know that we are concerned, and we appreciate the fact that you're concerned as well in asking for support systems. On a good note, we received just the most wonderful letter from the Young Authors program, and I would like to read it to you. I hope this letter finds you well. I'm thrilled to bring to your attention a remarkable achievement from one of the bright young minds in your district. Enclosed is a copy of The Fallen City, which is written by Addison Kite, a talented student from Newark Middle School who's now in the high school. This book is a result of the Young Authors' participation in the 2023 edition of the National Young Authors Fair, the largest and most prestigious book writing event for school students across the United States. I'm proud to share that over 100 students from Newark Middle School, along with many others from your district, took part in this extraordinary event. The National Young Authors Fair is not just a national initiative, it's part of a global movement
that has inspired over 650 authors from 26 different countries to write, publish, and showcase their stories to the world. The best part? Participation in this event is entirely free for all students and schools involved. Our district's leadership and those teachers that worked with our students to help them achieve this, and our librarians and our library support systems, are instrumental in fostering such creativity and literacy achievement in the Newark Unified School District. As we look ahead to the upcoming National Young Authors Fair in 2024, I'm confident that our continued support will help empower even more students in your district and share their voices and make their mark in the itinerary world. And I'm thrilled to share with you that we have a published author, Miss Addison Kai, and this is her book. She did not want to come this evening, but I would like to reach out to her personally. We have a certificate of achievement for her. It's a lovely book. It's really a great read. It's in my area of what I love to read about for nonfiction. For fiction. And it's super inspiring to know that one of our students, this is their first book that they're publishing, and I hope it's many more that she does in her lifetime and career. So congratulations to her.
And what grade is she?
She's in 9th grade.
9th grade.
Yeah, and she wrote that she was in the 8th grade. So super exciting, and we do plan to continue. This is also supported by a foundation here in our city as well for the Young Authors Program, and I was talking with City Manager David Benoon about this and just telling him about what a great achievement this is, and so I plan on sharing this with the council as well, so they know a little bit more information about it. It's super exciting, and it's really great news. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. Okay, moving on to 9.2 student rec. Oh, I'm sorry, we just did 9.2. So moving on to 10.1, nutrition services presentation.
Yes, I'm very excited to introduce Assistant Superintendent Jose Quintana, and he's going to introduce his team from the Nutrition Services Department. As you can tell, this is National Food Program Week, and so we are sporting our t-shirts, so I'm excited about that, and we'll be sharing some more information with you.
Absolutely. So thank you for allowing us to highlight one of our departments in nutrition services, who's our director, Mary Sayers, and we have today doing the presentation, Sarah Kaiser, who is joined by our nutritionist for the district here. And what they've actually done is cook from scratch some muffins, some bran muffins, as well as scones. So we'd like to invite everyone to have a sample that they cooked up freshly a couple of hours ago for us here today, just of what they do on a daily basis for our students. It's one of the very few districts that are adopted the scratch and starting everything, freshly in our central kitchen. So with that, Ms. Sarah, and we're ready for it.
My name is Sarah Kieser. I'm the child nutrition technician, and I have our nutritionist, Sally Reese, who is here with me tonight to learn more about our board program, because I want to make her come back and when we update our local school wellness policy, since she's working on updating our requirements and making it a more robust program. So I've created a short slideshow. Just so you guys know, our muffins are banana flavored and our scones are pumpkin. So, and they are whole grain, which is the same thing we serve to our students every day. All of our sites make fresh muffins, fresh scones on a regular basis. So, so it is National School Lunch Week, and it's an annual celebration of the National School Lunch Program, which provides nutritious meals to millions of children every school day. The week is a time to recognize the importance of healthy school lunches and the impact they have on our students. So every year they have a different theme, and in the spring they have the National School Breakfast Week. So National School Lunch this week, their theme is pirates. And so I stole their website piece to show you guys.
Borrowed.
So last week we had professional development on October 7th. We're very fortunate. The Washington Hospital came and they met with our staff and they taught our staff 2 different classes. We had a choking and a stop the bleed. So the choking class, our staff were able to have hands-on training on how to deal with choking and how hard you actually have to push for the Heimlich maneuver, which is much more intensive than anyone realizes. And the Stop the Bleed we thought was really important since most of our staff are working with sharp knives and other utensils on a daily basis. And then, we have some photos from the staff that were able to take, and it was a very well-received program. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it. And they seemed to learn a lot. Sorry, there's a lot of information on this slide, so I'm going to read it all. I apologize for not looking at you. Our school breakfast program, our district serves breakfast twice a day. Before school, starting at 7 a.m. for our elementary schools, a little bit later for the secondaries. And then during the first recess or brunch for the secondary students, they have access to a second chance breakfast. During the month of September, we served a total of 35,665 breakfast meals alone. That's just breakfast. And we had 20 school days in the month of September. Our school lunch program. All of our elementary schools only have one lunch serving window in the cafeterias. All of our secondary sites have multiple locations between 6 and 9, I believe. So during the month of September, we had, I have the wrong number, so I apologize. I don't have the right number for the meals. But we served about, I want to say 50,000 meals for lunch. I believe that was the number that Mary gave me, and I'm sorry, I was out of town and working on this at the same time. So we also offer an after-school supper program through the Think Together program at all of our elementary schools, Newark Middle School, and the Newark Library. And so the Newark Library is open to the public. The elementary schools and the middle schools only open to the students who are enrolled in the Think Together program. But during the month of September, we served 14,904 meals to our students. So we're serving students all day long. And supper is served around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, between 3:30 and 4:30. So
just under 100,000 meals in 1 month. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
And that was a short month. That's only 20 days.
Right.
October is a big month. So we're always trying new things on our menu. So we were very excited. They just recently came out with a frozen baked potato. So you get the potato, it's already done, and all you do is pop it in the oven for a little bit because it's pre-baked. So it saves on the cooking time for our staff. And we served it with cheese for our vegetarian students. And it seemed to be a hit at the schools from what I understand. So we put them on our elementary school lunch menus. We always have 2 options for our students at our elementary schools, 1 meat entree and 1 vegetarian entree. Our secondary sites have up to 20 options a day. So be aware that there are plenty of choices. If your kids are coming home and saying they couldn't find something to eat, they're just picky. So breakfast is a really important part of everyone's day as well. So all of our sites bake fresh chocolate muffins. We thought we'd give you a different flavor. So it's one of the most popular things, so you can see photos of the food that we serve our students. And again, these are whole grain chocolate muffins. All of our menus are available on the Child Nutrition webpage. So parents who want to get more information about the nutrition facts, how many carbs, what the sugar count is, what the calorie count is, especially for the students who are diabetic or have other medical needs, they're interactive, so you can go online and look at them. Parents can also sign up for a monthly email because I'm the one who uploads them. They automatically get notified that the menus are available. So, there's also an app that you can download, and it's called Web Menus, and it's in the Google Play and Apple Store, and parents can download it. So kids are our bottom line. That's our biggest thing, is we're here for the kids. We want to make sure that they get served. They're fed something they actually enjoy. If we get feedback they don't like something, we take it off the menu. So we try to make sure we work with them, and we're using Sally as our nutritionist to help us go out with more taste testings to find new things to put on the menu. We go to food shows. We work with different districts and collaborate on new ideas and what can we do to make things better. Our department is a locally run program. We are fully funded by the federal government and the state and do not infringe on the general fund. So we are completely independent of the district, but we are run by the district. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, ladies. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So thank you, ladies, for the great presentation. And questions. So, Vice President Jones.
I have a question regarding the calorie count for the meals, specifically for the diabetic kiddos.
Okay.
Is that done by item, or is it done as the whole meal? How does that work?
Sure. So most diabetic students are more concerned with their carb counts than their calorie counts. And so all the information available is for the specific items.
Okay,
So
is-
if it's an entree, for example, a hamburger, it includes the carb count for the patty as well as the bun because it's a one piece of the meal. So if they're served with French fries, the French fries are a separate item.
Okay.
And then our salad bar items are all separate as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that clarification.
No problem.
Other questions from the board?
Great presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that we really are tackling on childhood hunger. That is a very real thing, and it's throughout our community. I wanted to ask about the library meals that are provided. Is there a criteria for those kids, or do they have to be our students? I just wanted to get
No, it's
clarification
any
on that.
student in the community, it's any student in the area who wants to go to the Newark Library. I believe they serve it from 3:30 to 4:30, under the age of 18. And they've just recently moved, so they're located on the second floor.
Great, thank you.
Are there other programs that are citywide that you provide food for, like in the summer?
We do offer summer programs, because we just started the school year. We didn't focus on our summer programs. But we do offer programs throughout the community. We work with different community programs to prepare meals for our students, not only at the school sites that we offer we have classes at for summer programs, but we have community sites as well. And those are open to the public. All of them are open to the public, any child under the age of 18.
Thank you.
I believe you brought some samples for the public and the board.
Yes, please enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Superintendent, you had a question?
Actually, Joy's first.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you for the presentation. It's so nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
And also thank you for always trying to better our nutrition and always providing food. I wanted to say thank you for those, our new spoons and forks.
Oh.
Yeah, those are really great.
I'm glad you like them because we're
Yeah.
fighting with other schools that don't. This year, in order to help alleviate some of the waste, we transitioned to wooden spoons.
Yeah.
And our elementary schools went back to the plastic trays. So there are no carry trays. They're all plastic and reusable.
So it's been great to see that transition.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask a question. Do you know what happens to the food after, like if students don't eat it or like the carrots?
So some of the food we can reuse depending on the temperature control components. Unfortunately, we are trying to find ways to safely find places to donate the food. Our concern is the temperature control requirements because we worry about foodborne illnesses. And if someone gets sick from something that we provide, for example, a hamburger that gets too cold in between when they're served, then bacteria is growing. And so we don't want to make someone sick because of food that we donated and it wasn't kept at temperature. So we're trying to find better ways to do that. We're always trying to do our best to have the minimal amount of waste anyway. But yeah, we're trying to find options.
But they all go into the compost pile, right?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Superintendent?
I'm sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fong.
Just wanted to say thank you again for the presentation, and then also echoing all of my fellow board members. I know that your department is trying every day to improve the quality of food that's being served to students, and we really do appreciate that. And the only one disappointing fact is that your muffins run out too fast at the high school. That's
at every school?
I'm sure at every school, but I think that the one thing that my daughters do come home and say is that, Mom, at breakfast, the muffins are always gone and they're the best thing on the menu. So just wanted to let you guys know.
That's good to hear. What school are they at? We'll increase their counts.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So if I can just make just some comments. So I will just tell you, I'm thrilled to have the nutrition department here at our school district. Truly, the food is delicious.
Thank you.
I've tried many of the items. It's made with love and joy, every single day. They are the hardest working group that gets up so early in the morning to make this happen. So while we're all still fast asleep, they're busy working. And they're getting, they're preparing the meals for our children, and truly, they just taste good. What I will say is the food is really tasty, and that's something you can't change. I mean, we've heard over the years, some of us may have experienced even as children, we didn't always have the best tasting food. And I can think of a young lady that came up to me once when she was little, and I was a member of a school board, and she invited us to come and have lunch with her one day, but on hot dog day. Because the hot dogs would turn green because of the processing with the dyes that were in there, and then when it was put into the stainless, it had this chemical reaction, and they were not the most pleasant looking things. And so she wanted to make sure that we all had a chance to experience that, which was really quite interesting. So anyways, I just wanted to share with you that it's amazing the food that comes out of our kitchen. The kids have access to such great quality food, and I know that's because of the great recipes, the fact that we're starting to do more scratch-made processed foods instead of having processed foods. And it's a joy to watch our children get to eat.
Thank you.
So thank you.
So I think that the superintendent is saying no Halloweenies. So thank you, ladies, for a great presentation. And I do have just one question. The part of the program where you are offering it in the library, and this is for students that are maybe not even attending our schools.
It's open to the public.
Do we, and is it just regular school days, or is it every day?
It's only so we offer during the school days, and then we also offer during the summer as part of our summer program. But those dates vary from year to year because we have to go apply to the state and have specific information. So we publicize all of that information on our website, as well as send those letters home to all of the students in our district.
And do we have a sense on average of how many students we serve in that part of the program?
I do not know off the top of my head, but I can look into that and get back to you because I can pull last year's information.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We know it's been a long day for both of you, so thank you.
Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Yay! Yes and no, but.
I think it's time and a half.
Okay.
They're delicious.
So moving on to 10.2 Bridgepoint Crossroads Spotlight presentation.
All right. And I'm going to ask Assistant Superintendent Karen Allard to introduce our school here this afternoon.
I'm super excited to have Rochelle and a couple of students from Bridgepoint here this evening to share all the wonderful initiatives and things that are taking place on the McGregor campus. I had the opportunity to look over their slide deck earlier today and just impressed with all the efforts that are being taken place. So I'm handing it off to my colleague, Rochelle.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Board President, board members, and Executive Cabinet. We're very grateful to be here today and to introduce our school. We are the McGregor campus, and that means that we house Bridgepoint High School, the continuation high school, Crossroads Independent Study, the TALL program, which is Transitions for Adults with Disabilities, and also Newark Adult School. Today, though, we're focusing on Bridgepoint and Crossroads. So, going on with, oh, I'm the clicker? Okay, am I this one, the top one? And it should, oh, sorry about that. Apologize. Let's try it again. Good, I get to be in control. That's awesome. I want to start out by saying that this is my first year at the Continuation High School, and we're very excited to be there. This is our numbers as of 10/10/24. So you can see Bridgepoint has roughly, has 50 students. Crossroads has 31, and the TALL program has 11. Now, speaking of Crossroads, we only have one teacher for Crossroads, so that number will never go over 34. And for Bridgepoint High School, though, I was comparing the data from last year to this year, and it seems that even though we're at 50 students now, traditionally by January, we will be up to at least 90 students. So you can see that we fluctuate because that's what continuations high schools do. Currently, right now, when we talk about last year's, for example, when we talk about achievement data, talk about last year's SBAC scores, which are basically the 11th graders on our campus. You can see right now that we only have 6 11th graders and 7 for Crossroads, but I did notice last year's data was 37. So we swell in numbers as the year goes by, and then we also decrease in numbers. So if you'll notice right now, the majority of our students are 12th graders, but as we will talk with our students here tonight, we have a lot of 12th graders that started as 11th graders, like I said, that second semester, and then are working diligently and very hard in order to return in January to Memorial High School in order to graduate from Memorial High School. So we'll actually see the numbers flip, and we'll receive more juniors in the second semester and less seniors, if that makes sense. However, when we talk about graduation data, then you can see we did go down for both Crossroads and Bridgepoint. And again, I can't tell you exactly what those numbers mean, but I mean, why that happened. But I can tell you that, you know, that's our goal at the continuation high school, is to, number one, start a community where students feel and understand the importance of attendance, the importance of an education, the importance of graduation, and then to foster that so that they want to return to Memorial High School, even though it'd be delightful for them to stay at Bridgepoint as well. But when we talk about these students and we look at their SBAC scores, we can see that they haven't developed that sense of community yet, or whatever you want to say. We did have 37 11th graders last year that took our SBAC, and you can see by their scores that we didn't do very well. And so because of that, we're thinking about, well, what do we need in order to bring to these students that come in? I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Karen Allard, because she's opened up communications between Bridgepoint and the high school, Memorial High School, so that we can get the timing down so that the students want to come to Bridgepoint earlier in their career in order to receive their credits earlier and move back earlier. And so that's obviously all of our goals, is that our graduation rate goes up. Oh, I'm driving. Okay, so in order to do that, sorry, I didn't bring my glasses, so I have to look on my phone. So in order to do that, first of all, what are the changes that we've enabled for 24-25? Well, right now, we have too small of a population to have the English math scores on the California dashboard. But we have hired, if you remember from our LCAP last year, we have hired our school home liaison, and we're very excited about that. This person will be in charge of looking over attendance and going out to home visits for every single student that is not coming, because attendance is one of our major concerns and issues at our school. And then working with myself and our counselor, Sherry Garcia, to go over grades, attendance, the value of education and so on, time management, transcript review, things like this, in order to make sure that, our students are at school and producing. We are also in the middle of a WASC year for Bridgepoint, and we're starting our professional learning communities. We did have our first climate WASC survey, and it was very extensive, but these are two that I wanted to put down from the students. And it's important to hear the student voice about how they feel about how their needs are being met and how they feel that they're supported at Bridgepoint High School. And I think that is telling, because this school has been around for a long time and they've got super programs over there. And so we're just trying to build upon that. In Crossroads, we moved from a TK-12 virtual learning platform to a 6 through 12 in-person learning. Again, we have too small of a population to have the English math scores on the California dashboard, and we do give individualized instruction for each student, and that's one of our Crossroads students marching in the parade there, so we're very excited about that. Oh, I'm driving. Okay, and so what are our campus initiatives? Our initiatives are to increase academic performance. So how do we do that? Well, we have to have the students understand why it's important to have a high school diploma, and understand for themselves how to read a transcript, how to read their own transcripts, what kind of time management they need for credit recovery, because if they come with so many credits deficient, what does that look like for them time-wise in order to be able to make those up? We also want to have increased college and career awareness through leadership and advisory, increase school engagement through attendance, and we're very happy with our new homeschool liaison, and to build community, because students learn through our leadership plan and implement activities on campus, and they're doing very excited to brush on that later. For our TAL program, these are not all of our TAL students. Obviously, we have 11, but these are ones that last year developed the College Career Dream posters. And so we do a lot of college career for our TAL students, and they were very excited to show them off to you. So we got those going. They're delightful. We're grateful that they're on our campus. Now I'd like to introduce our students that came with us today to present with me.
Yay!
Hello, everybody. First and foremost, just want to thank everybody for letting us come in and talk. Something about leadership and Bridgepoint. We like to do a lot of activities, and recently we just had a kickball tournament, kickball tournament, and sorry, but it's a kickball tournament and a lot of stuff coming up. I feel like the Connect 4 tournament. It's just a very fun environment to be around, and the Heritage Month leadership. We always like to encourage everything going on in the different months, covering like Indigenous to Pride Month and like so on and so forth, and also just being around a lot of great people. Oh, and my name is Sione. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Hello, my name is Joseph. In leadership, we also get to experience a lot of things outside of school, like field trips to colleges. For example, last year, we had went to Berkeley, and I think that was a great experience for us. We got to learn more about like our adult life and where we're going to be in the future. So I just think leadership is a good experience for kids at Bridgepoint to engage into more like activities and learn about more in the future. Thank you. Thank you,
Joseph.
Hello, my name is Payman. I'm part of leadership and also Student Side Council. But some of the activities that we do outside of like at lunchtime is during advisory, we have a program. What is it called again? Raising Leaders? We have a Raising Leaders program where you're in a class online on Wednesdays for like a few weeks, and you have an opportunity to earn a job and also earn credits to graduate. We also have a soon-to-becoming new art class with Young Life, the Young Life Leader B. And then we also are doing tobacco prevention. And we're trying to help people know that what it can cause.
Okay, and what's your name again?
Payman.
Payman. Okay, great. Thank you.
I would like to recognize that these three students are also on School Site Council, and so they're also diligently working in order to return to Memorial in January. And so they're doing a great job with leadership, both in the class and doing all of the activities, but also mentoring of our students. It's going to be a loss to Bridgepoint when they leave because they do mentor all of our students. I don't know how many times a student has come up to me, especially an 11th grader, and said, well, yeah, and Sayoni said this, and Payman said that, and I was talking to Joseph, and so, they really do a lot of leadership, real mentorship on our campus, so we're very grateful to have them. As they were saying, that we do the two-peer education on campus, and we support the health disparities and support work. We do have work experience on campus, so students who do work can bring in their paycheck and they go through a class and they get credits for their work experience. There we go. We do have, obviously, an agreement with Mission Valley ROP for culinary arts and business administration. As Payman discussed, we have our art studio coming during lunch, led by Bridgepoint alum, Brian, they call him B, Robinson. We're very excited. He comes every Friday mostly and works with our students. We do have the Department of Rehabilitation for job training and career development for our special education students. We are planning on having Junior Achievement come in. They haven't finalized the date yet, but they're going to come in for giving our students financial literacy workshops. We do have the SAVE program, which is a Safe Alternatives to Violent Environments to restore healthy relationships, art empowerment workshops, and community circles. We talked about, I think Payman talked about Raising Leaders, which is the mentorship for career exposure, job interview skills, and they also receive a paid, and some of them receive a paid internship, which is fabulous for them. Our METRA program is Chicanx, a student movement, and they're bringing cultural and social justice awareness to the school community. We have Ohlone College booked to come in several times, once a month, to support with applying and registering at Ohlone College, their financial aid workshops, early college pathways program, resume writing workshops, and career exploration. Our students, even though Siani was trying to explain to you that we do, they sit in leadership and they develop an entire calendar for every single month. And they go through and they celebrate all the national days. We celebrate the cultural awareness activities. We talked about the professional development workshops. We also have advisory on Wednesdays, and basically what we are planning for that time is all the things that we talked about, but also guest speakers coming in, for example, people from a bank to explain financial literacy and how to set up accounts, you know, things of that nature for real life for our students and what it means and why they need a diploma and what it means to be that way. We do have the student-led lunchtime activities and the mental health awareness, which is very important to our campus. Our culinary arts and leadership team wanted to make sure that you knew about our joint field trip coming up. One of the things that I was surprised about and very encouraged was, as they mentioned, the amount of field trips. They have field trips to colleges, they have field trips to businesses. For example, Metro students will be going to Meta, and they'll be talking to the first generation Chicanx employees to share their stories and pathways to college and what inspired them to get into the STEM programs. They will be going to Ardenwood Farms because, you know, it's harvest season, it's fun. But it demonstrates the role farms play in providing vital resources and driving innovation and bringing together communities. And they talk about using farm machinery, staff, volunteers, unite visitors to join in the harvest and processing of crops, which is something that you don't normally know as a urban or suburban group of people, and so it is valuable information. And so they also have a variety of animals, and I don't know, again, something that's unique and exciting for our students. So that concludes our presentation for the board. If you'd like to ask any questions, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Ms. Wachowski, for the great presentation, and thank you for bringing your students. Questions from the board? Kimberly?
I just want to say thank you for the presentation and really all the opportunities that you presented up here seem very eye-opening and really applicable to life after high school. But I wanted to ask you guys which one, like what's your favorite class and why? Like any one of you guys can answer.
I bet you they're all going to say the same thing.
For me, I would say business, just because teaches you a lot about financial stuff outside of school, how to manage your money, and be smart with it. And yeah, business.
I'm a really big history geek, so I like history.
My favorite class is probably business, like he said, because like prepares you for your adult life, and I think that's really cool.
Shouldn't have bet on me because I was wrong, but I appreciate you guys. Okay, thank you. While they're here, stay here. Any other questions?
I just want to say that it takes a lot of courage to come up here, and I am very proud of each and every one of you to have come up and have said a few words. It definitely gets a little overwhelming. I can attest to that when you first come here and you're live, but you all did such a wonderful job.
I just wanted to say thank you. It's really great to hear about all the programs that you have on the campus and how the students respond to it. Obviously, you've created a really wonderful atmosphere over there, and it's great to see, 3 young men that are really working hard to do something and make something of their lives. And the leadership has been great. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, but I've only been there a couple of months, and so I do want to recognize their former principal, Julia Calderon, because she worked with these students. They were all there at 11th grade and are now there at 12th grade, and so she really laid the foundation, and I'm just building upon that. So I am grateful for that.
Great, thank you. Member Wen?
Thank you. I just wanted to add, you all did a wonderful job, and I was really surprised because I was figuring that you were going to say that leadership was your favorite thing over there. And leadership is hard, but I think that if, fellow students younger than you, they look up to you and want to model after you and in any way, in any capacity, even if you guys are going back to Nuke Memorial, I hope that you still maintain that relationship with the younger students because it's always nice to have people in your corner, and if there are students that are looking up to you and you're in their corner, I hope that you continue to help guide them because it also makes you a better people when you're helping others. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Member Thomas?
Thank you very much for a great presentation, all 4 of you. I was interested in hearing that you have several ROP, 2 ROP courses on campus. The question I have is, are you able to attend ROP courses at the ROP Center in Fremont?
They can if it doesn't conflict with times.
So
Unfortunately, because we have such a condensed program, we have 7 periods, and because of credit recovery, they have to attend all those periods. So it usually doesn't coincide with programs off campus. And then, of course, we have to discuss about transportation to and from as well, which isn't a problem really, but it adds time onto it. So if there are anything, and the majority of our students also work. So it is something that we're looking into, but haven't been able to coincide yet.
Right. And ROP does provide transportation if you need it, right?
Yes, but again, it's the idea of the buses,
time.
it's still the time over there and back.
Yeah.
That's the main issue.
Right.
Because we don't have enough hours in the day.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one quick clarification question, and it's on slide 3 for the Crossroads Independent Study. So I just wanted to ask if the TK through 12 virtual learning, that platform, so are we still teaching elementary kids there, or I just wasn't sure exactly how that was put together here, and I just wanted to understand if we still are teaching elementary kids through Crossroads, but just in person.
No. So the Crossroads program in person is only 6th grade through 12th grade.
Thank you.
Superintendent, do you have a question?
Just a comment, if I may. So I'm excited to have all of you here this evening, really excited to have our students here and to hear that you love your business classes. I'm a former continuation high school teacher, taught business classes, so I understand the importance, and I hope that you'll think about a career somehow in business that's tied to business, whether it be through technology, through some sort of accounting type strategies, lots of different opportunities, and I look forward to working with your team over there to help connect and make some other opportunities happen. So thank you for being here this evening, and thanks for giving up your evening.
Super cool.
Very impressive, gentlemen. Make sure you get your applications into me so we can hire you guys back over. Nice job, gents.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Wachowski.
Thank you very much.
All right. So moving on to 11.1, resolution anti-tobacco e-cigarettes vaping. And this is discussion, right? This is not action, so we're just talking about it. So Superintendent, do you want to kick it off?
Yes, thank you very much. So we've had some discussion with regards to this because the city has been working on a new ordinance around vaping, which they've introduced. It was at their meeting last week. This is a conversation that Board Member Lee and myself have had with regards to vaping, and just the fact that the epidemic levels that have changed with use of vaping in the last few years has been a real challenge, I think, for our schools. It's something that, especially at our high school level, it's one of the things I know our administrators are, having to work with. It's not something as an administrator I ever had to worry about. Like I didn't, vaping wasn't a thing when I was a school administrator, right? But it's one of the other things now, and students have access to it. And then it's really like the flavored tobaccos as well, right? Can be really attractive. And so I think some of the things that we're looking for are ways, just one, to be able to help continue to educate not only our students, but our parents. We've also received some feedback from some community members, I think, who've also reached out to you. And before you is a draft of this resolution, but it is not the final piece of this resolution. I hope for more input as we move forward.
Great, thank you. So questions or comments from the board? Number one.
Last Thursday, I was at the city council meeting, and I did speak, made public comment on the tobacco retail license ordinance in support of it. And I also mentioned that I felt that some sections of it was not was moderate, and that there could be additional safeguards that we could put in, or advise the council that we could put in to strengthen their ordinance. So I am in favor of this resolution. I think it's complementary to the work that the city council is doing, and so I am definitely in favor of it. And I like the fact that we did include or encouragement to add additional safeguards moving forward for city council's ordinance. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Wen. Other questions or comments? Vice President Jones.
I just wanted to say that I am in agreement with doing something with this. I know that we did receive some input from community members, and I appreciated the specifics and the relevant updated data that was given to us. So I'm really in favor of putting this through for the district as well.
Great, thank you. Other questions?
As
comments?
presented or with additional language being added, because I think one of the comments I think I heard about is that definitely to maybe add something also in here about maybe the use of marijuana or other uses besides this. That was one comment I had seen.
I think it's two separate things. Because this is tobacco related, and it's some of the stuff, vaping, it's not regulated, versus marijuana, there are some regulations to it. So while I appreciate, some of our community's input on it, I do think that they're two separate things. And I think that the separate resolutions that we have is in favor for continued to help decrease the numbers that he had presented. And I understand that, but I think it's really in place of supporting what City Council is doing, because we are the last city in the county to put an ordinance in place for tobacco retail licensing. And not only that, so I think because all of the surrounding cities and the counties recognize since 2019 that there was a high level of vaping that was happening in e-cigarette use, and once the ordinance started to be put in place, I think the decreased numbers have some effect in that it definitely had some positive impact of decreasing the numbers, but marijuana use, I think definitely it should be a separate resolution to separate
The
to
two
separate
topics.
the two topics because they're differently regulated.
I appreciate that discussion.
I
That is
agree.
the piece I just wanted to make sure that we addressed because I know the community member was concerned. And I just wanted to make sure that we had a discussion that involved those concerns that were brought to our attention this past weekend.
I agree that this needs to stay tobacco-related. They are two separate topics.
Okay. Can I just add one more piece also with regards to this? I think if you go back to 2019 and you look at the work that was done by both our California School Board Association members and their work with working with legislation, working with their communities, working with their cities, and also with AXA, which is the Association of California School Administrators, the two of them really took this on as being a piece just before the pandemic. And then, of course, when the pandemic kind of hit, and there's some things that kind of slowed down there with that kind of went with it. But I got to say, this was kind of a grassroots advocacy thing that started in 2019. And this was the great work that was done by our California School Board Association. So congratulations.
Other comments or questions?
I just wanted to comment on the community member who came up and brought this to our attention. I forgot what her name was, but thank you so much. Angela Silvera. Thank you so much. And now it's finally passing after some time.
We'll be bringing this back. If there's no other comments with regards to this item, we'll bring it back in November.
Right, yeah, and so obviously this is for discussion. It sounds like we've had a discussion. I know it's a draft, so if we can also just take a quick look, I see a couple small typos, so, but then we can get it up for final passage. Okay. If there's nothing further, moving on. So consent agenda, personnel report. Does anybody want to pull the personnel report? Member Wen wants to pull it? Okay, great. So 12.2 personnel report. Go ahead, Member Wen.
The reason why I pulled the report is that I noticed that Ms. Laura Johnson had resigned from HR in the district, and I just wanted to really appreciate her and all the hard work that she's dedicated herself to the district, and I've always had a wonderful experience working with Laura, Ms. Johnson, and she's always been there for staff members, and I just want to recognize her as an individual here and just to say congratulations on your new position, and we will definitely miss you, so thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments on the PAL? Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the PAL?
I'll make a motion to approve the PAL.
I'll second.
Vice President Jones moves, and Member Thomas seconds. And student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Just personnel, can she vote on it?
I don't believe.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, yes.
student
I was
member
like
votes on
blanking.
it.
Yeah, no, sorry, you shouldn't be voting. Never mind, not on that one.
What happened to the update on
It's gonna be in November. Yeah. Okay.
Votes are in, 5-0.
Great, motion carries. Moving on to 13, consent agenda item. And I know that an audience member a community member had comments about 13.2, so I'd like to request that we pull that just to get some clarifications from Superintendent. Are there any other items that people would like to pull? Member Thomas?
I'd like to pull 13.8.
Okay. So 13.2, I'm sorry.
If we
Yeah,
could bring 13.2 back at a future meeting.
Okay, sure.
Would that be okay?
Sure, no problem. All right, so we'll bring that back. And then 13, we're pulling 13.8. Any other items we want to pull?
Yes.
Go ahead.
13.18.
13.18. Okay, anything else? Okay, so we're going to take, and Ms. Croce, just let's note that 13.2 we're going to pull and bring back for a future session. But other than that, I need a motion 13.3 through 13.7, 13.9 through 13.17, and is there anything after that one? And then 13.19.
And we pulled 13.14 earlier.
Oh, and I'm sorry, 13.14 has been pulled. Okay, so can I get a motion for that patchwork of?
I'll make a motion to approve minus the ones we've pulled. Does that work?
Sure. And then
Minus
just to clarify, Ms. Croce, so we're going to approve 13.3 through 13.7, 13.9 through 13.13, 13.15 through 13.17, and 13.19.
Just a moment.
Okay, if it is easier, the items that we are pulling is, so we're taking off the agenda 13.2 and 13.14, so those are going to be brought back. But then we want to discuss this evening 13.8 and 13.18.
What were the discussion? I'm sorry.
So the ones that we're going to put forward to the future meetings are 13.2 and 13.14. The ones we want to discuss are 13.8 and 13.18.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I think Member Plancarte, did
Moves.
you make the motion?
yes.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, so Member Plancarte moves, and Member and Vice President Jones seconds, and student member, you can vote on this. So how do you vote?
Yes.
Great.
Member Plancarte, how do you vote? Oh, there it came in. Thank you. Votes are in, 5 aye.
Great. Okay, so 13.8, Member Thomas?
Yes, I don't have any objection to this theoretically or the purpose of it. What I'd like to know is I'd like to know more information about the discrepancies in the budget that's presented in the contract and what we say will not exceed. Also, I'd like more clarification about what the costs to the district are in terms of, housing this person and so forth, the full cost of this contract.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent. So this is 13.8, contract for DL and Associates, LLC, K through 12 Pathway Coordinator.
Yep. I'm very excited to be able to discuss this particular item with the board. You may recall back in August, we actually brought you a contract from Ohlone College where our district was asked to house this particular position. We went out and we found a very qualified person with his background who's worked very closely in this arena for many, many years and brings a great deal of experience. The purpose of this is to really coordinate activities between what happens at the community college level, along with the chancellor's office, and many of the grants that we all receive here within the region. And so it's not just our school district, it's several other school districts that are within the consortium to be able to help us with both the Strong Workforce Grant, with some of the other grants that we receive for CTE pathways. Some districts run their own. We have an ROP that actually provides for us. And so this person will be able to help engage in that and be able to bring some of that together. Also talk about some of the best practices, maybe like around dual enrollment, how we are able to help and engage students with more access to early college opportunities, and also how to stay on the pathway. right? So that when you, find something that you love to do in high school, and how do you get to continue with that? These will be some of the initiatives that this contract will be working with us on. In regards to the difference in cost, what you see here is the 67,259 plus the 22,000, which comes up to 89,259. And you were asking about what was the difference in the cost from the original grant cost. Was that the question?
Well,
I want to make sure I understand.
The total cost in the budget is 138,000, and we are only providing 89,000, and it doesn't speak to any costs that we are incurring that are not in the contract that we will be incurring, and I just would like to understand those.
Yeah, so we receive an indirect cost to be able to help offset some of our costs here in the district to either do payroll, to be able to support them. The person does not get a cell phone or anything like that from us, so there's no additional cost there. And then the total cost really was for the original part of the grant, and so there will have to be a rewrite to the budget because we didn't start on July 1st. This was brought to you a little bit later because, we had some challenges here at the beginning of the year with staffing. And so knowing that there were a few months that were not covered, that part will have to be renegotiated through a budget revise, but we had to put that back through with Ohlone College to be able to get that done. And then that amendment will be coming back to you with exactly what that scope of work and services will be for the total grant amount.
Yeah, I hope it's a lot more specific than it's been presented in the contract. The work is going to be more specific in terms of what that person is going to be doing and how they're going to be interacting and how we're going to measure, what they're doing. Or who's going to measure. I guess it's Ohlone College, right?
Well, no, it's actually us. It's us and the partners. So there's also partners that are involved with this.
Yeah.
And it's really just to make sure that all of us get accurate information because like many of us can't send people to the various different state meetings. We just don't have the capacity. And so this person will act as that liaison for all of us, bring back that information, be able to provide us with those facts. And this is a very common position to see throughout the state. Mm-hmm. And it's hosted at many of our different community colleges. And then they actually then share with their partners, the region, the opportunity to be able to actually help oversee this work because it directly impacts our students, especially those here at the high school level.
Will there be, at the end of the contract, will there be some kind of a report that where we ask questions of the partner districts and Ohlone College and ourselves in terms of how we've seen an impact on this?
Yeah, there should be a survey piece that goes out that would go along with this. And then this grant is a one-year grant. It's likely to be renewed for another year, but it will be based on program results. And so we're going to have to go back and actually show and demonstrate that. And so, again, we have a very experienced person that we've identified to be able to come in here and come help us and to be able to provide these services to all of us here in the region, which I think is exciting.
Okay, thank you. With the understanding that this budget will come back for and be redone with the Ohlone College, I will make a motion to approve this item.
Okay, great. So 13.18, or do we approve these one at a time?
Yes.
So
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We need to finish the vote. So she made the motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so Member Thomas moves and Member Wen seconds.
Thank you.
Okay,
And student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. Member Nguyen, how do you vote? Thank you. Votes are in. 5 ayes.
Great, thank you, Ms. Croce. Okay, and then finally, 13.18, Board Policy and Exhibit 6163.4, Student Use of Technology. Vice President Jones.
The only reason I asked to have it pulled was that I just wanted to make sure that when we do go to printing the exhibit, I noticed in our documents that the formatting was really off. And so more just a formality of making sure that when we do go to print this, that the formatting is correct and that we've filled in the blanks that need to be filled in. That was all. It was just technical. Probably overkill on my part, but just making sure. Thank you.
Standard of excellence. That's from the 49ers, by the way. Member Thomas?
Given that I work with you on these, this exhibit was included. Oftentimes, we don't include the exhibits for other policies. So maybe the superintendent can add when we should be including an exhibit and when not.
Thank you. I'll go back and review. I don't know if I have an answer for you, but I think it's probably on a case-by-case basis. If it's not the practice to normally include an exhibit, unless there's a real reason, like I can think, like I was thinking, like you had some exhibits like in the past, like where you showed probably dress code. Yeah. You kind of had like an image, right? So like there was a reason to go off and show an exhibit that comes with it. But I think, also I think in the translation of sometimes with the uploads of various software programs, sometimes it can be off, and so we want to make sure that we make those corrections as well. I'm not quite sure what the issues are here, but I'll definitely work with Ms. Lemus to resolve those.
Yeah, no problem. I just,
thanks for the notation.
It's just my analness, I guess.
Okay.
And also I felt it was really important because it is the student contract for technology, and so we want to really make sure that we're presenting that well because it's super important. And with that, I would like to make a motion to accept 13.8.
I do have I have a clarification question. So in terms of these contracts with students, will they live in the student handbook every year? Do we make them sign it and return it back like we do after reading the student handbook?
That's a good suggestion.
I'm going to come back with some more information on that, but I thought that there was not only a place that's mentioned inside the student handbook about this particular piece that will have to be updated for the future, but I think also when students do a sign-on, I believe they receive something initially with their sign-in. Correct? So I'm pretty sure that's the case, but let me just go back and just double-check with Ms. Pennifor.
Great, thank you. Okay, so Member Jones, or Vice President Jones moves. Can we get a second?
I'll make a second.
So Member Plancarte seconds. And student member?
Yes.
Votes are in, 5 ayes.
Great, thank you, Ms. Croce. Moving on to 14.1, Board of Education Committee reports, announcements, requests, debrief, and discussion. So, student member, would you like to begin?
Yeah. I don't have much. My only question is about, you said next November meeting, the student board member, policies will be clarified. Are we are we just getting
Lou Lozano, our attorney, is going to be bringing guidelines for that.
Okay. But we won't be making any, what's the word? Yeah, we won't be voting on anything, correct?
Process for choosing. Yeah.
So he's providing guidelines for how you, for what you can and cannot vote on.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So, Member Thomas?
Let's see. I noticed when you make introductions, President Hill, that you mentioned that Comcast Channel 26 has the board meeting on it. I'm not sure that's the case. Can we check to make sure whether or not Comcast Channel 26 is
It's YouTube. It goes to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that in the past it was working. I don't know if it's working right now.
Yeah, someone told me it wasn't.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
can verify because I was a part of that, so you're correct. I had a note to myself as well. So no
So
more
it's-
Comcast.
It's not working anymore?
It's not working.
Okay.
Okay, and I guess I'd like to reiterate and support your concern about curriculum materials, especially in view of the fact that when we get these Williams complaints, we
Yep.
just often say they're resolved, and if these complaints were resolved at the last meeting when we approved it, what was the process that we followed to make sure they were resolved? So, another program I would like to have us think about is the teacher induction program. I wonder about its costs and whether there might be a better way to provide induction services to our new teachers through some of the consortiums.
If I could just share a little bit, we are already checking into that. This was a piece that we were looking at last spring, and we've continued looking at it. There are some other options that are out there that are both more affordable, as well as, I think, a different service delivery model that might be advantageous to us with the amount of staff that we have and the hard time trying to find mentors to go along with it. So I think this will be a great opportunity for us to study, but it's something that we want to be able to work with as a team, and we'll be coming back with a future report to the board for any changes that we make to the induction program after staff and our chance to be able to work with the teachers union on establishing what that looks like.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to raise the expectation that we start sooner rather than later, because, we should have this in place by early March 15th, if we are going to outsource our induction program rather than,
We're on it.
okay.
There's
good.
been regular meetings on this, so thank you. We're right there with you. We know that making a change is always difficult, but we want to make sure that it's well planned and that we have all of our MOUs and stuff in place.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're asking Ms. Parks, looking into Ms. Parks' concerns on the, and pulling that report on contracts. Thank you. And then lastly, congratulations to the food service group for getting training on choking and stop the bleed. I know that the hospital has been very proactive in this program, and I'm glad that we're cooperating with them. And overall, thanks to everyone. I hope you all I know you've been working hard. I hope you all have a chance to relax in the weeks to come. Thanks.
Thank you, Member Thomas. Member Wen?
Thank you, President Hill. I just wanted one request, and I think that hopefully we can work on it next year. I know that this past week, at the beginning of the month, from 10/4 to 10/11, was National Manufacturing Week. And I know that in other school districts, they do partner with the city, their local city and local businesses for students to be able to come to those manufacturing companies to experience what it's like to work in a manufacturing or local business and try to see what kind of jobs that are available within the local cities and kind of emphasize the importance of like, hey, this is what you guys can look forward to, all of our students, if you choose to go into manufacturing. And I think that it's definitely a positive, and we haven't been proactively doing that in the district, and I hope that we can moving forward. I know that in Milpitas and the city of Milpitas and Milpitas Unified in the past have done, great outreach for their students there to be able to come into a business, see the different roles and responsibilities of how a manufacturing company is ran, and just to build up interest. And I think we need to create that kind of atmosphere and opportunities for our students. So that's my one request. So if we can work on it for next year.
So I know you see me smiling over here, so I've been actively involved with Manufacturing Week for a long time here in the state of California, not only with Manufacturing Week, but also women in manufacturing
Yes,
in
that would be
particular.
amazing. Yes.
So super excited to be able to work on that initiative, and I think our ROP can also assist us with that. But we have so many wonderful businesses that do incredible things that, like, a lot of people don't even know what the businesses are, but they're actively involved with manufacturing right here in our own backyard. So we definitely need to make sure that we make those connections.
Yeah, as the ROP representative on the ROP board, I'd like to say that you're absolutely right. ROP has done a great job in the Mission Valley ROP in giving field trips to students. And it just made me wonder if it's a way that we can work with them to provide the opportunity to some of our non-ROP students.
I'll take it one step further and maybe talk about, perhaps we could look at a Women in Manufacturing Day.
Perfect.
To be able to introduce young ladies more to this, because it's been traditionally a male
Dominated field.
Yes, area, but I would like to really be able to kind of push that idea and be able to open up doors for many of our female students that probably have the aptitude but have never had the opportunity.
That's correct. Thank you so much.
And just to echo Member Wen, so Milpitas, and I think it's Foothill, I can't remember the,
Fremont does it too. The city of Fremont does it too.
but what I'm referring to is that they actually, in Milpitas, they actually have a really strong manufacturing program.
Yep.
And they have a whole, basically, lab, and those are things that we might want to maybe visit and partner with, so.
All for it. I love it.
I'm not done yet.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay. I've got more numbers. that
No,
aren't
no
filled
more,
in.
no more requests, but I just wanted to address, last Thursday, I did miss the League of Women Voters Candidates Forum, but I was busy coaching tennis and against Logan, and Miss Joy Lee, her game went into tiebreaker mode, and we were there for a long time. And they actually won their, we didn't win our match against Logan, but Joy and Batil won their match, and it was an amazing match to watch. And that was so fun. And I have been working with community health outreach since March of this year on the tobacco ordinance, and really advocating for that with the city of Newark. So I was there at city council meeting, making public comment on there. So, and then also was there with Mr. Quintana and really supporting Miss Lapelt, Michelle Lapelt, our teacher of the year. So I was happy to be able to do that because I did miss the ACOE award ceremony that night also because of tennis. But yes, I'm keeping myself busy, and it's been wonderful to be able to work with the community and outreach with our students, and not only that, but other community services in support of our students and their families. And so I was really excited that the ordinance passed, and thank you to the city of Newark for recognizing that we needed to do that. And it's a right step in the right direction. So I really appreciate what they've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Wen. Member Plancarte?
I really don't have any updates other than we continue to work on the bond, Measure O. I would like to ask our community to please spread the word, research, and learn about the measure so that you can talk to those who have questions and who are sort of on the fence about not passing this bond. It is really critical that we do pass the bond and that our schools have the money to renovate and get repaired and also to innovate as well. And then I just wanted to also echo a little bit about what Ms. Sherry Villa said about really embracing what the teachers need. I understand that there's a lot of parameters around, what we must do and what the curriculum, right? We have to stick to the curriculum, what we teach, but also it is critical that if we are to build cohesion and collaboration and the culture, that we really do buy into what it is that they say that they need to help support our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Plancarte. Vice President Jones?
The only question that I had for clarification was, I know that we've asked to have a study session on Project Connect, but I did want to check, I don't remember the whole Project Connect, the idea of the program coming to the board for approval, and I went back and I tried to find where it might have been approved by the board, and so I'm just questioning, did it come to the board for approval? Should it have, or is it something that wouldn't come to the board? I'm just looking for clarification on that is all.
I don't know that we have those answers, but we would have to go back and do some research. I'm not even sure how long Project Connect's even been involved here in our school district, but I know at least it's been a couple of years, so let me find out some additional information as to
Yeah,
how.
I tried to go back and look, and I couldn't find it.
We do have a list that Ms. Lemus has created based on a bunch of board asks on a variety of different reports that we'd like to have throughout this year. So we have started taking a look at those, and we're starting to prioritize that list so that we can get information back to you, whether it's in a separate board report or it might be an item that comes here. And even from a board report, you may ask for that to come forward to the community to be able to share information.
Yeah.
But we're learning too, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just was looking for the clarification. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the work that you're doing on all of our requests, because I know that that document is not one page, it's several pages long. So really appreciate everything that you all are doing and how hard you're working, and feels like things are really moving along well. And so thank you all for all of your work.
Thank you, Vice President Jones. So, fellow board members, as you and the Newark community know, over my 4 years on the board, I've been an activist in rooting out corruption in our school district. With your support, we removed those district leaders who both wrongly persecuted high-performing employees such as former Principal Akila Bird, and who hired unqualified cronies who did not have the training or experience needed to deliver value for our district. I led the audits and investigations into our deficient procurement practices, and with your support, we forced out the vendors responsible for our air conditioning debacle and who we almost rehired to oversee our track and field project. Over the past year, our new leadership has actively swept out a number of bad apples from our district, those same staff who for years have been putting their own interests before those of our kids, parents, teachers, and taxpayers. While we have made great strides, however, our work isn't done. I would now like to share information regarding a matter that strikes at the very core of our mission, academic integrity. The Newark Unified School District's stated mission is to, quote, inspire and educate all students to achieve their full potential and be responsible, respectful, and productive citizens, end quote. Achieving this mission rests on actual preparation of our students for their lives ahead. And that means achieving and demonstrating proficiency in key subject matter areas. Our role should not be a diploma mill that pushes students through the system whether they are prepared or not. Yet the huge gap between our recently released test scores and our graduation rates over the last decade indicate that we may have become just such a dreaded diploma mill. When we graduate roughly twice as many students as are actually proficient as measured by standardized tests, we perform an enormous disservice that can permanently limit our kids' future opportunities, especially those underserved populations that look to our education systems as a transformational opportunity. Our students' lack of real academic achievement is also reflected in our absence from the list of national merit scholarships. While Fremont schools recently placed over 100 students on that list, Newark once again placed 0. Simply stated, many of our students are ill-prepared to compete against the best and brightest on a global scale because we do not hold our students to high enough standards.
Point of order.
So, Madam, I'm allowed to make my comments, and I'd appreciate if you'd let me finish.
Well, usually when there's a point of order, the board hears the point of order.
So, Madam, I'm the one that actually rules on this, and I think if we
So you're not accepting my point of order?
Yes,
question.
that's correct, because I'm entitled to complete my board comments. Okay, so thank you.
Well, the point of order is about your board comments and continuing them.
So So I think if we refer back to our standards, I'm happy to read them if you like, that we've all agreed to. Okay, I'm happy to. But we're all entitled to our opinions, and I think that we've committed to that in our
So
board
because
sessions.
you're president, you can just not accept the point of order? Like if it was, for example, me, or maybe other board members, I feel that you would have accepted the point of order.
So
Am I incorrect?
let me, go ahead, Vice President Jones.
I think our issue is with the guidelines.
Yeah.
And that it says that we will respect differences and not dismiss or devalue others. And that we all have had our opportunities to say how we feel about things. And we deserve to be heard out, however long that is. It may, some people make shorter comments, others make longer comments, but I feel like everybody deserves to be able to say their full comments without being cut off. And I think, we spent some time over the summer really agreeing to these. And by cutting President Hill off at this point, I don't believe that we're sticking to the guidelines that we set forth over the summer.
Yeah, but he's actually devaluing the district and devaluing the employees and devaluing our students
So
by making those comments. So respectfully, those are the values that we stand for, but we choose to put ourselves above that and make those comments that, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why we don't have national merit scholarships in our district is because for the last couple of years, a lot of our students, because SATs are not required, they didn't have to take it. But you're painting a narrative that is devaluing our district
So again,
and our students.
so again, and I'm frustrated because, excuse me, madam, I'm speaking, please don't interrupt me.
No, I'm not going to interrupt you, but I'm
So
going to excuse myself because you can make your statement, but I don't have to stay here and listen to it because I do not feel that it's valuable in the sense that it lifts anyone up. And so therefore, I am going to be excusing myself, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Recently, a whistleblower has come forward with credible, documented evidence that explains one of Newark's practices that perpetuates our students' underperformance. According to Ed Code 49066, quote, when grades are given for any course of instruction taught in a school district, the grade given to each pupil shall be the grade determined by the teacher of the course, and the determination of the pupil's grade by the teacher shall be final, end quote. We hire certificated teachers to teach our kids, and based on their training, we entrust them to evaluate students' proficiency and guarantee that our entire educational system has integrity. Going into my 5th year as a teacher, I will attest that almost every teacher I know takes this duty seriously, and they care deeply about preparing kids for their futures. Unfortunately, based on the information that has been forwarded to me, there appears to be a shadow system operating at the high school, which bypasses this teacher authority regarding grades and graduation. Evidence shows that some students at our high school who have been struggling in their courses for almost an entire academic year are pulled from these courses within weeks and sometimes days of graduation and assigned to online courses which they then magically pass. These students' former teachers are rarely consulted regarding this decision to move their students to these online courses, and those same teachers are not involved in the oversight or delivery of this unapproved curriculum, which is a violation of board policy. As a result, only a few high school staff, possibly lacking the proper subject matter certifications, select students for enrollment in online courses, loosely monitor the students' self-paced progress through these courses, and enter grades into students' transcripts, again, a violation of both board policy and Ed Code. Regular teachers do not know what content is being taught or whether the students are actually mastering content, which is a difficult notion to accept for those students earning an entire semester's credit in as little as one day. To an outside observer, the grades on students' transcripts appear indistinguishable from regular class grades. True preparation and proficiency cannot be accomplished in weeks or days in a course that was designed to be delivered over the course of a semester. Instead, it appears that some staff are pushing kids through the system by having them check the right boxes, and this is academic fraud. These practices help to explain why on the California School Dashboard, Newark Memorial has a 90% graduation rate, and yet only 43% of our students are classified as prepared for college or career. We are lying to many of our students and families about our students' readiness for the life ahead. If we are truly serious about building one of the best school districts in California, we cannot let this accusation go unanswered. Indeed, it is incumbent upon us as educators to discover the truth and to root out all practices that camouflage our students' lack of proficiency. Only when we uncover the truth can we make real reform efforts that will prepare our students for competition on a world stage. I am requesting board support that we ask the superintendent to launch a formal investigation into this matter and report the findings back to the board. Our kids' futures depend on it. Can I count on the board for support in this critical matter?
For me, I would say it's difficult to make that decision right now. I need time to think about what you said and to process my own ideas before I would say yay or nay.
Okay. All right. Other thoughts?
I would say I'd have to concur. It's something I'd have to digest as well and think about how I'd like to respond. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for hearing me out. So moving on to item 15.1, superintendent's concluding comments, updates, and future agenda items.
Yes, just a couple of quick notations. First of all, we have between now and our next meeting, there will be a joint city task force meeting that will be occurring on Monday, the 26th, I believe is the date. Let me just double check that. Oh, it could be the 28th. Let's see here. I'm sorry, the 28th, Monday the 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it'll be scheduled. It'll be here in the board meeting. We'll be hosting it here at Newark Unified School District. So just to let you know, and I'm working with the city manager on the agenda for those items based on the requests that were given to us by the task force members, and then also some new items that have come up that we want to make sure that we share with everyone just as part of a discussion to make sure everybody's informed and up to date. So looking forward to that. And then just lastly, I know there's been a lot of questions about our bond, and we do have an FAQ page that's located on our district website. And I know it's gotten some feedback. We are trying to respond to people as quickly as we possibly can when it's an FAQ. And that's separate than what the actual yes on Measure O is. And so we can't comment up here as district personnel on the Yes on Measure O bond committee, but there is information that's available on that, I believe, on the website. Yes, Ms. Lee?
I would just like to respond to President Hill's comment.
So this is not a forum, actually, so we don't comment on people's comments.
Oh, but you asked all of them and you didn't ask.
I was looking right at you, right, and we've actually passed that agenda item.
Oh.
So, yeah, so I was looking right at all of you, right, and we've moved on to the next agenda item.
So I can't comment?
No.
So you're saying I can't?
Correct.
I can't comment?
Correct. Right, so we've moved.
My understanding is you could comment on, is it something that you're ready to agree with or not agree with?
Yeah, I just wanted
Not
to.
that you would say to really
Yeah.
respond to it, am I right?
It's not, you asked if you wanted my support, and that's what I wanted to.
Yeah, Ms. Lee, maybe I can help with this just a little bit. So, I heard what President Hill was requesting as a board. There's obviously some concerning statements that are in there. that I'll
I'm
be
just not sure if it would be good to launch a formal investigation if like everyone is super busy with the bond right now.
I appreciate the fact that you're related to the bond, so I understand where you're coming from with it. And I think those are some important merits. I think if you're doing something, you need to make sure that you have the time to devote to being able to do that. So I can appreciate where that's coming from. And I do want to thank you for your comments.
Yeah, and I think that we left it with that we're not taking action on this request at this point. Okay. Okay, so go ahead.
I have one more question about the next two meetings, and is with the next meeting being, and I apologize, I didn't say it earlier, with the next meeting being on election night, and several people, including myself, are not sure that they're going to be able to attend that night. Is it possible for us to entertain pushing it a night or not? And then, because I know with my eye surgery, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to come on the 5th. Giving me, even if it's a day or two more, might be helpful. And then also, my understanding is that our meeting in December on the 12th is the same night as the city's, and that being able to, attend each other's swearing-in ceremonies might be a nice thing to do. And would it be possible to push our meeting maybe a day earlier to the Wednesday before so that we could attend both? And I apologize for forgetting to bring that up when I was speaking earlier. Thank you.
I think, so in response to your question about moving the meeting on Tuesday the 5th to potentially Wednesday the 6th, I'm just looking at my colleagues to see if anybody has an issue with that. It's possible that maybe I won't have all of my staff members here, but I don't think that's really a problem for us to do for the most part here, and we should be able to work around our agenda items. I know we've got some things that were pre-planned for the 5th. I will just have to make sure that those that are presenting are able to do it on the 6th.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So we'll have to go back and go check on that, but if the 6th is the consensus amongst board members, I think we can make that happen. That means you promise all to vote.
Promise to vote. I've already voted. Thank you.
Excellent.
So do we have consensus from the board that we want to move it to the 6th?
Or would like to try to move it because she's got to check with
I think
staff and other presentations.
I know Karen Allard has a presentation that evening. Are you okay with moving it to the 6th? Karen? Yeah, that works for you.
I'll need to check on the school spotlight.
Well, if we can push it one day, for me, that could potentially, it's just every day is going to be more helpful with having the double surgery.
I support you having an extra recovery day, Kat, to
I think Wednesday the
get
6th will
better.
work fine. And then with regards to the 12th, if you would mind, if I would like to go back and just make sure, the week before is our California School Board Association. I want to make sure that I can get an agenda out in a timely manner. And so if you'll just give me the opportunity to go back and make sure I get a chance to work with Ms. Lemus on that, with her schedule as well, and with our team of administrative assistants to make sure that we can pull that off if we move it up any earlier, to make the timelines and get postings and stuff to happen.
Yeah, I appreciate just the entertainment of it would be awesome. Thank you.
So ideally, maybe on the 11th, to do it on the 11th instead of on the 12th?
Yeah, it would lend, it would lend itself for city folks coming here and for us to be able to go to the city and really continuing to further that relationship with the city.
Yeah, besides our board organization meeting that would be happening that evening and our swearing in, I know we are also going to have a very exciting report from Assistant Superintendent Jose Quintana on our first interim. That will be the first interim night. Yes. So I want to make sure that we can have everything ready to go and be posted. And it's just kind of weird with having the holiday being so late in November. And, and then us having the meeting on the 2nd and then being gone all week. And then it's just kind of a back-to-back. So I just want to make sure that we can timely work that out.
Yeah, no, I understand. Thank you for the entertainment of it.
So December, we're considering moving it from the 12th to possibly the 11th, so from a Thursday to a Wednesday. And you'll get back to us on
Yes.
the logistics if we can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'm sorry for the record, did we move the November 5th meeting to the 6th? Do they need to take a formal vote on that, or? I just need to put in my notes, I just need to have the notes. So by consensus, we've now moved the November 5th meeting to November 6th?
By consensus, that was moved to the 6th.
Okay. And do we have to do a roll call consensus, or just nods of the head was enough?
It's not an action item that's on the agenda, so I can't take an action on it. It would be something that staff would have to agree to be able to move our meeting.
And if we move it, we'd have to post it where?
Well,
And in advance, and when can the staff commit to? I know we're all very busy, so can the staff commit to posting?
I'm already committing to Wednesday the 6th. As far as the organization meeting, I do have to go back and make sure that we can actually move an organization meeting. I am a little
The
bit.
December meeting?
That's the December meeting. I've got to go back, go check to see, one, if we can even do everything that's being asked of us with being gone the week before, and making sure that we can come back and post everything, because I was planning on working on things that Monday, right, to be able to post.
I think we've had the organization meeting on the 2nd, because there's new guidelines about not having it too soon, so I think you should look up and see what the new guidelines are on that. And regarding the 6th, I believe the board does have to approve any calendar change meetings, so we could still do that at the next meeting, right?
No, it was the next meeting.
No, the next meeting is the next meeting is the 5th or the 6th. We don't have a meeting anymore.
Boy, how time flies.
then.
We'd have to have
No, that's a bad idea.
special meeting or something. Because I do believe the board has to approve our regular meetings.
I don't know what the Brown Act allows you to even do here.
That's why I was wondering about the formal consensus, if it could happen.
I don't know. Can I phone a friend?
Yes.
You can phone a friend, absolutely.
Wow.
Like flying, phone a friend, sure.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what's that?
You already approved your regular meeting dates. Right. And you've done this before, and you had to do it at a meeting, so you had to approve it. Oh, have to, it would have had to have been on the agenda in order to bring it up to the guide. No, for the charter. You already did talk about it once before moving it, and it was no. You talked about not moving it. You already had this discussion before. I feel like deja vu. Been here before.
I know, and I appreciate that, if we could, but, yeah, I know.
I know, and I wasn't even thinking when we discussed it before about my recovery period of time and what I was gonna be like. I mean, I was writing it.
Are you still live?
Joy, would you like to sing a song with me while we're waiting?
Sure.
I just wanted to see if you're ready. What song do you know? I might know a lot, but you don't want to hear me sing any one of them, Joy. I'm just giving you a heads up. I believe that you are super inspirational and incredible. So I just was trying to give you a spot here on the spotlight.
You know, I actually did choir when I was in middle school. Yeah.
I did choir too in high school.
Really? I would have been a choir kid in high school too, but the APs got to me. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. No, I really wish I did. I think I tried learning the guitar for a little bit, but it was hard.
Oh, no, my son's
Oh.
really talented. I don't.
You look like someone.
Oh, I wish I could. That's like our daughter. And then my daughter-in-law, she's the director of the music program at Cal Baptist University. So she has like 11 or 12 instruments. I can't, I try all this. Take some lessons from her. Oh, she liked it. Yeah, I tried the piano. Not bad. Yeah. Well, they become tap dance forever. No, I really liked it. It's just like, I think my sophomore year, I started working, and then I missed trials, and I wasn't really sure I did, so I was like, whatever, I just work. And then last year, I tried tracking for the first time, and that was really fun too. Yeah. So you actually like to run, are you a runner, or is it just I need to be active in some way, or all my energy.
Aiden already asked for it to be moved on September 17th. It's in the minutes, and y'all said no. So now we're gonna have this discussion at the last minute.
It wasn't based on policy, it was based, they didn't want it there. Now they're checking.
Yeah, now they're, yeah.
Different, I get it.
Yeah, because the whole discussion was, and it was like, and the conversation was, we've had board meetings when there's been an election before, don't throw a wrench in it. Well, and so you have 4 board members. Is she having cataract? Well, you know what, if everything works good, she should be able to see perfect afterwards. I was able to see perfect when my husband was driving me home. There's nothing. You just can't bend over and can't lift things. You remember making the request on September 17th?
I remember. Yeah, so based on our advice from legal counsel, given where we are in the meeting at this point, we can't introduce a new topic, and we can't approve a change at this point, and so we will have to keep our November 5th meeting on the calendar. Okay. So any other topics, Superintendent, that you want to discuss? No. Okay. All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will second the motion.
Member Plancarte moves and Student Member Lee seconds.
Sure, I can, Member Thomas, how do you vote?
Yes.
Is everybody else voting? Do you want me to do full roll call?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So, sorry. Member Thomas, how do you vote? Yes. Thank you. Member Nguyen, not
We
present.
want to do the
Um,
student member.
Member Plancarte, how do you vote?
Sorry, you're throwing me in for a loop. I voted with the,
It's okay, so
The-
we're
but
still
with
doing
board
it, but
docs,
we're
but
going to do a roll call as well.
I vote
so
yes to
thank
end the
you.
meeting.
Member Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
And President Hill, how do you vote?
Before I vote, did we ask the student member?
I did not. Student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Member President Hill, how do
I
you
vote
vote?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, meeting is
Four
adjourned
ayes.
at 9:05 PM.